Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Tranglo. Tranglo expands its payment corridor to Georgia. Seamless real-time transfers are now available, empowering Georgian families with faster, more reliable remittances. And look at where they're expanding to. Georgian migrant workers are mainly employed in Europe, the US, and CIS countries, making this expansion crucial for connecting Georgia to these regions. You know, we see non-stop growth around Ripple. If it's not Ripple directly, it's always partners of Ripple that utilize the RippleNet technology and XRP. Non-stop rails getting put in place. APAC Deo is happy to announce that we are now partnering with RippleX Dev to engage and nurture developers to build on the XRP ledger in Southeast Asia. This partnership aims to provide the Southeast Asia developer community with training, meetups, and hackathons to build on the XRP ledger in this vibrant region. You know, all over X, I see these people saying, the reason the price of XRP isn't moving is because there's no growth on the XRP ledger. Yet there is projects building out, valuable projects. They're geared towards lending and borrowing, cross-border payments, and tokenization. The reason that these people are saying that is because they're pissed off that the projects that pay them to shield their project aren't building on the XRP ledger. That's why you see these people shifting away from XRP all the time. But we're going to see even more growth into the future. And I don't know what happened with Raw Paul. So remember when he said price fluctuations won't shake my faith? XRP's true value lies beyond the charts? That was back in 2023. Here he is now. Take a listen.
XRP, it's like from two bull markets ago. You might be right. You might love it forever. Just please move to whatever the strong momentum is. I know there's that fear in your head is this time it'll be the big one. You'll get plenty of notification, you get back in, but don't miss the bull market because you're in a narrative of past. And the communities are huge. And I don't want to get attacked by people online for this, but I just feel like you're being done a disservice by being in a cult. Our job is to be mercenaries. We're in the job to make money, not to be a cult. Cults don't make money except for the leaders. So I know it hurts people when I say this. Cardano, XRP, there's a whole bunch of these. I really hope you're right, but hope is not an investment.
So I wonder who's paying him to now shift the narrative all of a sudden. I see the same thing with the OG influencers on X. All of a sudden, they're all about Solana, and they're all about this project and that project, shifting away from XRP. Honestly, I think this is happening because we are getting very close now. Because you see things like this. IMF backs Ripple's push to boost Palau's economy. Ripple and the IMF collaborate on Palau's digital payment system. The IMF's technical assistance team is a key stakeholder, indicating a deep level of operational collaboration between Ripple and the IMF. And, you know, a lot of people think the IMF already has a set price for XRP. And look at the growth with the BIS. Yet people still somehow think that XRP is not going to make holders rich at some point. Listen, we're far beyond the XRP is going to zero narrative. We're far beyond that Bitcoin is always going to be the #1 cryptocurrency narrative. Things are changing. Former Ripple CTO Stephen Thomas, Interledger Protocol was meant to scale the XRP ledger to a global level. A global level. Former Ripple employee Marcus Treacher confirming that XRP is infinitely scalable with the help of ILP, and that the liquidity model of XRP was meant to scale to 7 to 9 billion people. Every single person on the planet. And I'm going to hold XRP no matter what until it goes live all around the world, because I want to get that generational wealth. I'm not going to get shaken out by all these people who all of a sudden shift a narrative out of nowhere. Mainstream media news, they're pushing Bitcoin. You know, you see Michael Saylor trying to sell it. You know why? Because they have to keep the belief alive, and they don't want you holding XRP. Then there's this. Well, there is this. 25% on unrealized gains, 44.6% capital gains tax. Define wealthy people. The stock market will crater if any of this gets through Congress. You need to seriously take these things into consideration before voting. This is absolutely insane. Harris now backs Biden's plans for taxes going forward. And that unrealized gains is absolutely horrible. To put it into perspective, this is what it means. Kamala Harris has endorsed a tax on unrealized capital gains. In other words, if you buy a Bitcoin at $50,000 and it goes up to $70,000, but you didn't cash out of the Bitcoin, you still owe tax on the $20,000 in capital gains. This is insanity. She cannot win. There will be no country left. I'm telling you right now, industry will leave this country. So many people that actually have a lot of money would be gone tomorrow if this gets put in place. To put it into a perspective for XRP holders, if you bought XRP at 50 cents and it runs up to $1 and you don't sell and it drops back down to 50 cents, you still owe the capital gains on the other 50 cents. What this would do is it would force people to sell at different price points just to cover the taxes. And then let's get into capital gains. You know, imagine you made $1 million on XRP. Well, under the 44.6% capital gains, you would be paying $440,000 in capital gains on that $1 million. And, you know, that's why you want to become a long-term XRP holder. Because long-term capital gains, I think it's like 15%. But short-term capital gains is somewhere like, I think, 25 or 30%. And you want to make sure that you're paying only 15% in taxes. There's other ways to get around the capital gains tax. We'll talk more about that in other videos. But this is what they have planned going forward. Think about that. Unrealized capital gains is just theft, in my opinion. China targets virtual assets in landmark Supreme Court ruling on anti-money laundering laws. So if China is now cracking down on anti-money laundering, that's going to be crucial going forward, especially for a stablecoin like Tether. Because China's cracking down, you can bet everyone else will be cracking down as well. Good news or a trap. The USA wants to classify cryptocurrencies as traditional currencies. So they first say that crypto is under the US Treasury scrutiny. After long rejecting cryptos, the US Treasury and the Federal Reserve are considering reclassifying crypto as currency under the Bank Secrecy Act, making a decisive turning point in the US regulatory approach to digital assets. This revision, aimed at treating crypto on par with traditional fiat currencies, is driving the need to strengthen transparency and reporting obligations for financial institutions. I think what this will do is it's going to have to, well, it goes in hand with this, crypto regulations. By officially classifying cryptocurrencies as currencies, the authority aims to include these assets in existing anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist financing frameworks. This new definition will apply not only to digital assets that act as substitutes for traditional currencies, but also to those that have not yet attained legal tender status. So eventually crypto is going to be looked at as money, but I think it's going to come with crypto regulations. But I think what they're doing here with the US Treasury is that they also want to make sure that going forward, if they're going to be using crypto inside the banking system and big institutions are utilizing crypto, they have to put a value on it. Like those ETFs, they have no real value. It's why the DTCC gave it a 100% haircut. On a balance sheet, you can't borrow against it. But if they make crypto money and it's sitting on a bank's balance sheet, they could then borrow against that value or lend out that value. I think it's going to strengthen the banks and institutions, but I think it's also going to come with crypto regulations. So this could be a good thing, and it could also be a bad thing. I think this is most likely also going to be handed over to the IRS, because then they could enforce laws around crypto if it's treated like actual money. Just in, the US dollar index, DXY, falls to the lowest level in over a year. So think about that. And that, if that keeps continuing to fall, we will start to see Bitcoin and crypto start to really take off. And I think we are now going to see that continue to happen. We're pushing even deeper in debt. And on top of that, we have countries that don't want to buy our debt anymore. They want to send our debt back to us. I think the DXY is going to continue to fall. We have to keep an eye on it. But as that happens, take a look at crypto. Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum just warned an era of shocking events is coming ahead of the 2024 US election as the global elite prepare to unleash chaos in society. We all knew this was coming. And you know, no matter who wins this election, I think there's going to be chaos either way. If Kamala wins, you know they're going to be saying the election was rigged and chaos and riots are going to break out. If Trump wins, you're going to have chaos and riots coming from the other side. I don't think there's going to be a win-win in this election. I mean, I think that's why the billionaires were building their bunkers. But you know, when the World Economic Forum is telling you chaos is coming, you can expect it to happen. Federal Reserve could see 1 million jobs vanish in downward revision. Now, I don't like the idea of this, because if they see that jobs are going to just vanish, I'm wondering if they're still going to stay on the path of cutting interest rates in September. And you want those rate cuts to happen, because that's going to be very big for crypto. That could set off Bitcoin's massive run-up, which will lead us into alt season. And I got to remind everyone that every holder is not the same. There are many people here that will hold through any dip, any shakeout, and any crypto crash. Then there are others who panic sell and run for the door as soon as we see XRP drop more than a penny. This is why I remind you that some will stay poor, some will get rich, and some of us will get wealthy. If you think the shakeouts are bad when the price drops, just wait until we have people calling the top over and over again as the price goes higher. Only 1% of people holding XRP right now will become the future 1% of the world. Anybody that makes it until XRP is running on all those rails, anybody that makes it to that point will become part of the new 1%. You will be a legend if you hold until that happens. You know, me personally, I plan on holding XRP until it reaches its full potential. I will most likely take profit at some point, but I'm reluctant to take profit too early. I want to see if utility starts driving the price of XRP, because that'll give us a good idea on the timeline and how high the price can actually go. But I still do believe we are following 2017. There's nothing holding back XRP in this next alt season. I think it's going to be epic. I honestly think we are going to achieve that $27 that people were calling for all the way back in 2021 this time around. And even Bitcoin, a lot of people are calling for a super cycle and a blow off top. If that was to happen, that will also give us a better idea on where XRP goes. But I'm expecting a massive run up for Bitcoin. And I think it's going to start once the Fed starts to cut rates. But until it all happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.